Hi, welcome to Community Connection. I'm your host, Sarah Clark, and today with me I have some folks from the Challengers, Retta Slay, the Challenger Division Director, and Mark Gambardella, a parent and board member. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks
Happy
for
to
having
be
us.
here.
So, Retta, tell us what the Challenger Little League program is and what this organization is all about.
Well, I'm just so excited. I think this was one of the first mainstream sports programs in our country to include children with special needs. Little League International desired for all boys and girls to play Little League baseball or have the same opportunity. And 35 years ago or more, they provided the Challenger Division for that to happen. And the Challenger Division players that are children with special needs, physical special needs, developmental or intellectual disabilities, ages 5 through 22, and now even beyond that age, receive the same privileges as any other Little League player. We play on the same fields, we're to be included in the same uniforms, all the same ceremonies and celebrations. So it's really a great program. We offer T-ball, coach pitch, skills teams, and a lot of other clinics with our local sport community groups, our mainstream sport community groups.
Wonderful, and I know that you had something to do with starting this locally in Santa Barbara. How did this come to our community, and how were you involved in getting this off the ground?
You talk about a perfect storm. I call this a perfect dream. Really, when you look at what was happening and how it came together, it's just a beautiful thing. I had my husband and I have 2 sons, and our youngest son has Down syndrome. His name is Keaton. And he was about 7 and came to me and, Mom, I want to play baseball. Many have heard this story, but I'll tell it to you. So with that, it was one of those mom moments. A parent has to bite their tongue and just kind of compose themselves a bit, because what do you say when you know it's not out there, or you feel 98% it isn't out there? I could not look him in the eye, Sarah, and tell him, I'm sorry, they don't let kids like you play. I couldn't do that. So it's one of those challenges. How do I handle this? So I just composed myself and said, Keaton, let me make some phone calls. So, and when he talked about playing baseball, I naturally thought it's let's go to the backyard. And he made it clear, no, Mom, I want to be on a team. Mm-hmm. So we all have our challenges as parents. And this was one that I made calls all across the county, up and down, and there was not, just like I expected, there was not a program. And somebody told me to call the board members of Dos Pueblos Little League. And I did. I was fortunate to get an answer with the first phone call, and I spoke to a man named Doc Reed, and we discussed it, and he explained that the board, the Dos Pueblos Little League board, did have a desire to start this program, but they didn't have any players. They weren't able to recruit players. They weren't getting the right outreach out. So Little League International had this program. Their board wanted to start this program, and I was the parent that said, okay. And he gave me 2 weeks to get the kids, and over my shoulder here, I don't know if that's in the picture yet, but we have our first team of players.
Oh, wow.
So this was a 4-week mini season where we showed up, and the Dos Pueblos Little League coaches gave us uniforms and all of our equipment, and their Little League typical players serving as buddies, which is the heart of this program, is that Little League Buddy program, and their coaches to get us started. So after 4 weeks, it was really clear that this was something very special that all children with special needs needed to know about. And then we've just taken it from there.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
That is such an incredible story and so inspiring, and I'm very impressed with how you got that off the ground so quickly.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Well,
no.
And I know, now it's evolved and grown, and Mark, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about what this has done for you as a parent, and with your family, and the benefits of this for your family and child.
Yeah, it's been great. My son Gennaro is about Keaton's age, maybe a little bit younger, and he was there for day one. He's not in the picture, but we were early participants in the Challengers, and it's been great. He's been through this program been able to participate in sports he otherwise wouldn't be able to. And I think the beauty of Challengers has expanded to other sports beyond baseball, but I think baseball in particular, the nature of the game, there's a lot of stopping and starting, which for some folks makes it very boring. I think it's very conducive though to teaching kids skills and allowing them to participate in that. Everyone participates at their own speed. And as Retta pointed out, the buddy program, and let me elaborate on that a little bit. What that is, it allows each of the players to effectively have someone riding shotgun with them out there on the field.
Wow.
So my son in particular requires a little more assistance than maybe some others. That buddy role is filled either by DP Little League athletes, so kids that are their peers, 12, 13, 14, 15, younger boys and girls will be out there helping Challengers play the game. That group has been expanded to the Foresters here in town, Santa Barbara City College, really all the high schools.
Yeah, every local high school, public or private, and college has been on our ball fields to volunteer during the season.
Buddy system. What an incredible experience for all these groups too.
Well,
to be
for
involved.
them, but also, as a parent, nothing delights us more than to know our kids are walking up and down the hallways of their school, high-fiving. The most popular kids in the school are our athletes, or it used to be.
Right.
Years ago, I have to imagine now, but they have people looking out for them and having bonding with good memories.
Well, and that's exactly it. And I think what has been great for all our kids is that it's their peers who get involved. And I've been involved coaching within Challengers, but I've also coached my daughters and even a little bit in the high school level with typical kids. And to me, it's interesting now to see the benefit that Keaton and Gennaro and all their teammates get from these buddy participants, but that goes both ways. You see these typical athletes who have a whole new perspective on sport and community and people after this.
As you touched upon, this doesn't just benefit these special need children, it benefits our entire community. There's really a lot of areas for volunteers and support.
Well, every year I learn something new. Every year I see a different aspect, a different benefit. And touching on the buddy program, when those buddies, they're typical Little League players, or they're the volunteers, they're coming out from other high schools or colleges. And the families are there too to support their player, watching them engage, giving them support, engaging with a special needs child, who may for some be a little scary, they might be nervous about it. That's a typical thing. But the parents are always thanking us. Thank you. This is such a great experience. I'm so happy my child gets to be a volunteer. It helps them develop compassion and friendship and be grateful for the healthy body they have and all of the activities that they do have. Another aspect of volunteers, many of our volunteers decide on their careers right there on the field. A lot of our college students go on to major, they make that decision to major in special education professional services. And our families, for Mark and I to walk on a ball field on Saturday morning and feel welcomed and not so different, because every ball field is filled with kids with and without disabilities. We know, we look around and there's other families like ours and they're having a blast. They're really just having a blast.
Oh, it's so wonderful, and it shows a lot about the passion and the incredible community we live in too. Is this the only type of program like this in our community?
I think it was the first one, but I believe it's inspired many others. At least that's my hope, to see that children with disabilities have the same dreams and the same games as mentioned in our logo. You might see throughout the program here. Same dream and same games as all other people or children. They want to participate in the daily activities or regular kid things that anybody else does. And so my encouragement to our community would be to find ways to help them do that, to adapt what your program is. And we have gone beyond the baseball and are now included in the regular after-school program at Page Youth Center for fall and spring basketball. We have a new program started up, Challenger Flag Football and Cheer. It's a Pop Warner Challenger program, but we invite people to learn about that on our website. And we have yoga and dance programs and all kinds of park and recreation with the Santa Barbara Park and Rec, all sorts of programs in the community that include our children. So it's not separate, it's pairing typical developing children and support to children with special needs. They're all enjoying programs together.
Wonderful, and the Challengers has evolved so much since you first started it. How do you get your funding? Because obviously as it's grown, the organization needs funding and volunteers and support. I'd love to let our viewers know how we can all help support you.
Well, it's an all-volunteer 501c3 organization. There are no paid positions. Everything we have comes from the community. It's truly a community-based program where we need the donations of any amount. We need team sponsorships. We need our volunteers to be there for us and help us grow and expand throughout the county. We're now in Ventura, Carpinteria, Goleta, a new venture in Lompoc, and Nipomo. And I've had interest in Santa Maria and San Luis Obispo, people calling. So the funding is donations, and we have that information on our website or gochallengers.org. And we also need players. People spread the word. Let other kids with disabilities, anywhere from age 5 up through adulthood, now can play.
Wonderful. Any last comments?
Yeah,
on that,
I would add into that parents out there who have even a slight interest that we fit anybody. And I know it's regardless of your skill level, whether a child, you're maybe concerned that he or she, this is baseball, but it's boys and girls.
Yes.
And we do have the market on baseball in town, I think, and happily so. And thank you to DP Little League for making that happen. It took the efforts of Retta and a lot of other people in that league to take us with open arms. But to parents out there who maybe aren't sure, I can assure you that there will be a space for your child regardless of skill level. We have some kids who have significant challenges, who have a blast out there, and we accommodate them. We have children who have really unbelievable skill, and I've said it before, there's nothing more entertaining than some typical 16, 15-year-old boy throwing underhanded to one of our girls who then unleashes a line drive and nearly takes the guy's head off.
Yeah,
and it's, but that's on the participant side. On the volunteer side, we need human capital in the form of volunteers and coaches. And of course, like everything else, financial support is critical, and that comes in all forms, whether it be sponsorship, participating in whatever way anyone out there wishes to. We've been around a long time, and we expect to be so for many years to come.
Right, and I might mention too, wheelchair players are included, and we recently had a community fundraiser where a family raised over $3,500 to help us buy specialized equipment, and we are needing more specialized equipment because I've had families tell us they'd like their children to play, but they only have one family wheelchair, and they are concerned about it being damaged, being pushed around on our fields, so that would be a big help.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us more about the Challengers, and for our viewers to learn more about it. And they can go to your website to learn more. And we'll see you out on the field.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for watching Community Connection. We'll see you next time.